Hey guys, I hope that gave you enough time to write down some stuff you're grateful for and some intentions that you may have. I love being able to start out the day with that. It means how can you have a bad day when you're writing down stuff that you're grateful for? I mean, think about that. So a couple really quick things. I know this isn't kosher and stuff, but I do need to give a couple shout outs to a couple agents in my office, Mariella and Nicole. They're brand new agents and they actually just closed their first deal. They've been in the business a couple months and they just both closed their first transaction last week. So big round of applause and a shout out to them. Even on top of that, Nicole has actually set her first listing. She actually got her first listing as well. And so one thing I love about that and the example that brings to me personally is they have showed up every single day. They've showed up, they've committed, and they've been going through the motions. Not only that, they've been going to role play. They have submitted themselves to the process. You know, we say that a lot, submit yourself to the process, enjoy the process, and just make sure that you understand what that process is, and it comes over time. And so I just want to give a shout out to them. I am so grateful to be in a position I am to see people succeed. That's one thing that I love about where I'm at, kind of the stuff that I wrote down, some of my gratitudes is being here today, watching each one of you. I know there's many more of you out there that have had wonderful successes by plugging in. Even being on this call right now shows that you are plugging in, you are successful. Success comes first, wealth comes after. And I love that statement. And today, we're going to talk a little bit more about some skill sets that we need to, that I feel are vital right now in today's market. You think about what's going on in today's market, and it's kind of crazy. I mean, there's really no other word to put it. Like, I don't like using the word crazy, but Southern Utah, we have 186 homes on the market. That's crazy. In all of Utah, there's like 1,800 homes. That's crazy to really think about what's going on in our market. And what's even more important is to think about what are we doing to better ourselves in this market. And I hope one of the things we're doing is working on those skill sets, working on our presentation. And one of the presentations that we use hopefully every single day is our listing presentation. And I want to talk about that presentation today. And hopefully you can gain some tidbits, some skill sets that you can help and you can implement in your business that will help further you to go get it. Because frankly, I mean, think about it. I'm going to ask you guys a question here. Put it in the chat box. What is a listing in today's market? Anybody? Nobody? What is a listing in today's market? A paycheck. That's amen. It's a paycheck. I mean, you hit it, Judy, you hit it perfect. Gold, guaranteed payment. You guys are exactly right. A listing, if you need a paycheck this month, go get a listing. You know, I don't know if you noticed, but back in the 12 Summit of Success, the list, you know, we sell 100% of our listings that we take. And we can actually say that right now. If you get a listing, it will sell. I mean, very rarely does a listing not sell nowadays. Now, are there some expireds that come on and stuff like that? Yes. However, listings are gold. And the second question I have for you then is, what are you doing in your business to enhance your skill set to obtain listings? What are you doing right now? Because if it's a guaranteed paycheck, wouldn't every one of us want to go get a listing? I mean, that's the goal. It's easier said than done. I understand that. But that's the ultimate thing. I remember working with my coach, you know, a little story for you. This was actually last year that I understood and I started realizing the importance of listings. He would always tell me, one listing a day takes the poverty away. I love that saying because it's true. But I remember going to him. We started getting going. He started teaching me more skill sets and everything. And I always went to him and said, "See, I need more in my listing presentation. I need more. I want to bring more value to my listing presentation. What else can I add to my packet?" You know, that's actually the number one question I personally get right now too, is what can I add to my packet? And he stopped me. He's like, "Alex, stop." He's like, "I want you to close your eyes." I said, "Okay." So I sat there and I closed my eyes. He's like, "I want you to envision yourself." I was like, "Okay, I could see myself." He's like, "That is your listing presentation. You are your listing presentation. All the other stuff is important, but it's fluff." See, people connect with you. People connect with your knowledge. People connect with your appearance. He said, people connect with your confidence. So he went on to say, if you want to better your listing presentation, better yourself. And that hit home for me. And I think that it's true. I mean, you really think about it. It's not what you say in a listing presentation, it's how you say it, it's how you portray it to those other people. I mean, we always talk about in the Everest family that we are leaders, that we are, our job is to be a leader. Well, what is a leader? You know, they talk about it all the time. A leader is to be effective communicators. Our number one skill that we need to be working on is communication. It's being able to help people take action and help people take the next step. Well, isn't that the whole point of a listing presentation? Is to help people take action. But that comes from us being leaders and communicating what we need to. And so the skill set that I really want to focus on within the listing presentation, because the listing presentation is, you know, there's key elements. You know, you need to, I think Russ Orchard, he actually teaches this the best. You need to connect, you need to create value, and you need to close. Well, today I want to talk more on the connecting part, which is the introduction of the listing presentation. See, I'm a firm believer that people know that they are going to list with you within 5 minutes of you being in their home. Very rarely does it take the whole time. Yes, they may have some objections, and yes, they may have some other things, but I believe that when that connection happens, they know that they will list that home with you and that you will be their agent. So are we making sure our skill set is correct and that we know what we're doing in that first part? So the number one thing that I truly feel it starts even before we get to that home is how confident are we as agents, as leaders, that we are going to get that listing, that we are going to be able, as I put it down here, I wrote it down so I won't forget it. Where did I write it here? Let me see. We are going to be able to help those people take action. Basically what I wrote. See, it starts with the confidence first. Are you asking yourself? Are you asking them, can you take this listing? Can you help these people with their dreams? Okay. See, confidence, I believe, comes from practice. So the very first thing is, even before that listing presentation starts, we talk about skill set, practicing that skill set. Are we practicing? When was the last time you took time out of your day to practice your listing presentation? Have you been role-playing that presentation? See, we need to role-play to get better, to better communicate, okay? So number one is build the confidence through practice, okay? Number two is every listing presentation is a little different. Everybody puts their own little twist on it. I've seen multiple listing presentations that they're all different. They all have different things, but like I said before, they all have the same elements and bodies within them. You know, you got connect, create value, close. But the very first thing you want to do is when you dive into that listing presentation, that opening listing presentation, you want to create value up front. You want to thank them. You want to use what we call, and I hope you guys understand and know that all of this is in your script book on page 40, okay? So if you can refer to this stuff all within your script book, okay? But you want to make sure that you use that acronym TAP, T-A-P, okay? You want to thank them, thank you. You want to acknowledge, and you want to promise. So you want to go, Mr. Seller, thank you so much for having me in your home. I acknowledge the time you're taking is precious, and I want to let you know that I really do appreciate you taking this time with me. I know time is valuable. And I want to promise you, regardless of the decisions that we make, I want to promise you that you will see value in this, and that hopefully, if you do see that value, I will be able to list your home. Okay, so you set that expectation up front with your sellers in that introduction. Okay, so you don't want to overpromise. So many times it's really easy to overpromise in this market. You can go in there, hey, seller, I'm going to get you 50 grand over asking price. You want to list with me? No, that is not what you want to do. You want to stay realistic, set realistic expectations. Okay. Again, it comes down to the confidence that you bring when you're portraying that. Number two, you want to ask permission. So many times it's so easy to go up and say, you know what, I'm going to take a look at the house and look it back and you know, and we'll talk about the paperwork and what I'm going to do to help market your home. Yeah, I'm a firm believer that you're in their home, they're taking time out of their day. Ask permission to view their home. Mr. or Mrs. Seller, thank you again for letting me have you here. Do you mind if I take a look around? Are there any key parts of your home that you really like that we would want to point out to buyers? Use it as a closing, okay? As it says, this will, you know, and when they do point something out, use that point. Man, this will be a great point, a great selling point when we do put your home on the market. This will be a great selling point when you list your home with me. Or make sure that you're using those soft closes within that introduction. See, this all happens within the first 10 minutes of getting in that home. I hope you guys realize that. What's the whole point of this? You're setting that rapport, you're building that rapport, you're setting that expectation of that you know and you have the knowledge of what you're doing. And number three element that you really want to make sure that you hit on this introduction is, we call it the map, okay? Motivation, availability, and price. You want to make sure that you touch on each one of those objects, okay? This is basically where you give the outline and the overview of the appointment that's going to take place. You don't want to originally just go in and just, okay, this is what we're going to do. You want to make sure that you go in these orders, okay? First, motivation. You want to reaffirm the motivation. Again, Mr. Seller, I just want to make sure that, you know, just talk with them, have that communication with them. First, we'll spend a few minutes discussing the importance and why you want to sell your home, okay? Second, we'll also address some expectations that you have from me as your agent and also from me to you as the seller, okay? Again, the whole goal is setting that expectation up front, okay? Second thing is you want to tell them and let them know that in that outline that you give, you want to let them know that you're going to be sharing some information about how you sell those homes, how you differentiate from any other agent out there. Okay, and third is you cover the market, local condition, price, and everything like that. Okay. So I know I kind of went through that really quick and everything. However, it does set the mood of the presentation. The introduction is one of the most important parts of the listing presentation. If you want to have a successful presentation, set the mood and expectation up front. Okay, I hope you got some little tidbits out of that. I hope that you're able to implement some of those key elements in your presentations that you currently have. The whole thing with all of this is making sure that you practice, practice, practice. The key to gaining confidence is practicing that presentation. Record it. Play it back, listen to yourself. How dedicated are you to your business? Okay. In closing, I want to leave you with this. It's April. You have 9 months left in 2021. That's 273 days, 6,556 hours, or 393,418 minutes. What's so awesome about that is you guys still have plenty of time to improve your mindset. You still have plenty of time to learn a new skill, to enhance the skills that you currently have, like the listing presentation, the intro, to change your routine, to increase your income, to lose weight, gain muscle, whatever your goal may be. There's still time this year to start, but that start happens today. It has to happen today. So I leave that with you. Get after it. Go make it happen. Thank you once again for letting me be here, and we'll close up with the closing affirmations.